So the first lesson that I decided to put up on this YouTube channel is about data, and hopefully you're gonna have a fun time watching me. Starting with data. Why did I want to start with data? Data is intertwined in a lot of professions. Data is everywhere. And there's an article uh, that has this very cool graphic that I took from it. I'm gonna link it below. It basically says data science is partially in all kinds of industries and all kinds of aspects of life. I would say we are doing data science from day to day without even realizing it. We are analyzing data, we are drawing conclusions, we are gathering information and knowledge that we use in our day to day life. Now, whether you call it experience, whether you call it I have a feeling that this will happen based on these facts, it can all be described with data science. Now, the core of data science is data and information. If you're somebody that has dabbled in computer science, data analytics, you might already notice or you might have already heard about this. Most people don't really think about it too much. Data, information, isn't it the same? The data versus information is the pillar of the knowledge that you're going to be building upon when it comes to data science, when it comes to databases, when it comes to data mining, anything that has data in it. Yeah, it's important to know what your data is and what and how you get to the information. So let's analyze what is data. Data often can be arbitrary, and when we form our opinion on what is data, what is the definition of data, we need to go to the very basic concept of having a number or having a letter or having something that will represent our data. Data isn't complex. It can be, but in its basic raw format, data shouldn't be complex. Okay? That might have sounded a bit confusing. So, data can be arbitrary. Let's see some examples. We have examples popping up, and as you can see, data is pretty much everything. If I ask you to compare, let's say, this 50 that we have and the 4, you can compare those two, that they're both numbers. Maybe they're percentages. What if they're not? What if it's a part of a name? And what is 9? What is 09? What is 03? What is 2020? 2020 as a year? 2020 as a number? Data can often be ambiguous also. All of these small images represent some kind of data. We don't even know what it is, so we can't even start to comprehend this data. We can try and guess based on our previous knowledge, previous experience, previous everything, but if we're starting from zero, we can't really define it. It's a building block, we know that, but it comes in different shapes, forms, sizes, everything. We can't really make much sense of it. So data is the rawest form of a building block. It's numbers, it's random characters, it's a name, it's a date, it's the price. It can be a lot of things. So what happens when we organize this data and process it? Starts to make sense. And now we can see what each part of that data that we had in the previous slide represented. We see that it's a receipt. So when we are presented with organized, processed data, it can provide information about its nature. And the information that we're seeing right now is that this is a receipt. Now, if we go a bit further and highlight some of the information that we have on this receipt, we can see the date, the exact time that this was purchased. We can see the item. The quantity is 1, the price is 4.5 something. We can see that the base price is 3.85, that the tax is 17%, and that the tax comes up to 65 cents of some kind of currency. We can see the total, and if we translate my local language, this here means that it was paid in cash and that it was paid exactly, so we didn't have anything to return to the customer. Now, that as a whole has given us a lot of information. Is it useful? Is it some kind of new knowledge? Maybe. Depends who you ask. Is it particularly useful? I don't see it being too useful right now, but we know we can get 270 grams of something for 4.5 of something. So it's not really exact and we can't derive a lot of knowledge from it. But if we fill in those gaps and I tell you, oh, the local currency is called BAM, yeah, BAM. And that one BAM is approximately half a euro, now you can conclude that this wasn't that expensive. And we got 270 grams of chocolate. Now this information is more valuable. So as we fill in the gaps with more and more data, the better decision we can make and better evaluation we can make of the information and conclude some knowledge from it. Maybe the knowledge we want to conclude from this, it was good to shop on the 6th of March since you got a good deal on chocolate. Continuing on, we come to the conclusion and realization that, well, great, we have the information. What are we supposed to do with it? As I previously said, we can draw some conclusions and knowledge. And if we are in business of making important decisions, data is what we rely on. Data is what we analyze, process, organize in order to get information about the market, in order to get information about our customers, about what we should do and how to act in a certain way that is going to benefit our business. Sure, we can go on and follow our heart and be all romantic about it and do whatever we think is right. But anyone that does that in a form of a business, in something that needs to be profitable, and something that has real consequences of getting wrong, historically, you're not going to have a great time doing it like that. So that's why you rely on data. That's why you rely on information from that data. And that's why you rely on your knowledge and business knowledge that you can draw from organizing data and recognizing information that is valuable for you. So let's wrap this up and give a short conclusion. Data is something of a building block. It can be basically anything. It's usually numbers, names, letters, signs, everything that can represent something. A bit general, but that's what data is. Basically, unprocessed, nothing has been done with it. It just has the property of existing. Once you have that data and try to organize it, try to get to a deeper meaning of that data than just it existing, you get information. Information might not always be useful, We get tons of information daily that we don't benefit from. We get information that doesn't concern us, so you can get the same from data. Data doesn't care about you. You should care about your data, though. Now, when you analyze that data, as I said, you get the information. Useful or not, you decide, I guess. Knowledge also tends to be the same way. From the data that you gather, you can extract useful knowledge as well as useless knowledge. Useless knowledge is usually the knowledge that is understood by everyone. Unless you get some new knowledge about it, unless you find a new perspective to look at that information and see something that nobody else has seen, you won't get any kind of competitive advantage from your knowledge. I was avoiding general definitions of information, data, and knowledge. But if I had to define it, and if I had to use the usual definitions, data is really unprocessed information, and information is really processed data. I hopefully demonstrated how you process it, while knowledge is there to give you a competitive advantage and help you make better business decisions. Now, if you discover something that everybody knows, well, that knowledge kind of falls short, I guess. The video that you are watching right now commoditizes knowledge about data, information, about knowledge itself, knowledge discovery, what it is. My camera is going nuts. But my perspective is that if we have more people that understand these concepts, and if we have more people that can help uh, through all the needs that that keep increasing in data science, maybe just maybe we can get a better place to live. We can get uh, some advancements in our data understanding and knowledge that will lead us to a very better tomorrow. Might be cheesy, but yeah, that's what I want to believe, at least. Now, hopefully this video has brought you a bit closer to the understanding data, information, and knowledge. If it didn't, let me know. Let me know what was confusing about it. If it did, let me know what was good about it. Hopefully my production and my explanations get better and better from episode to episode. Thank you for watching the first episode. I hope you learned something, and see you again in the next one. Bye.